drafting phase, I'm kind of expecting some Tollin and some L'Oreal bands. If you're really, really into that, I also expect some Krilgroth bands as well, if not picked. There, yeah, there we go. Reading my mind. Thank you so much, Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil is going to be the team on the right, and of course on the left is going to be Tribu, Nemesis. They didn't change their names yet. They're probably waiting for the big prize. They're going to try to win this for them. Something to look forward to as well. Especially with in terms of prizes, it's really not mostly for the prize, mostly for the esports experience as well. It's going to be one of the, let's call it the stepping stones to getting into like major tournaments. You got to start here from the bottom, which is exactly what they're doing. Best of ones, guys. Picks are now getting locked in. Right now, Superman did go through the picks and bans as well. It's really a big thing, actually. I mean, and like Leather Goods did mention earlier, Superman is quite a threat when left unchecked. He can roam around the map very fast, and if you couple that with a Kriknak who is already doing that exact same job, you have a Kriknak roaming around in the jungle and the Superman roaming around the lanes. That's something that's very hard to handle. Meanwhile, on the other side, though, they did lock in the Sentinel for a bit more safety, as well as the Zephys, which is going to be something also very, very good to watch out for as well. I really love that. I mean, I love the Zephys picks. The Zephys is definitely something that has been surviving, that has been making waves in a lot of major tournaments. This is no exception. On the other side, they do lock in that very coveted Chognar with a very unique ultimate as well. I really need to get my iPad in and get the skills, because I really have not been brushing up on my skills as of the moment. Big Arena of Valor tournaments have been a bit difficult for me to handle. All right, there you go. So, I mean, difficult to get, rather, not handle. So right now, picks are getting locked in. We are getting loaded into the Antares battlefield as we go against Tribu Nemesis. We go into the game, Tribu Nemesis versus Yggdrasil, Imperious. Alrighty. So right now, I think the major component of this game is going to be the Superman. Aside from the very powerful roams, I think it's gonna be super great, especially if you pair it with the Kriknak. If there's actually quite a lot that Yggdrasil can do to counter this. Yggdrasil has the Senyo, and they also have the Zephys Alice. There's so many counters that they can do. Of course, all of that can be sort of, let's say, nullified by the Chognar. They do have a great front line with Fane and Malok as well for Tribu Nemesis. But again, that's really something that we will have to see. How fast can the damage composition of Yggdrasil beat out the tank composition of Tribu Nemesis? Because you got to look at Tribu Nemesis, man. They're very tanky, no kidding. But that Superman alone is going to be a bit more difficult to deal with. You got to pair that with a Kriknak who is going to dive in your face day in and day out with the Malok, Fane, and Chognar. Again, Chognar, getting, aside from a lot of damage as well on the side, on his side, a lot of magic damage, is also going to do all that CC neglection. So the Zephys won't be as effective. The Lubu won't be as effective. So basically, why Yggdrasil is going to have a lot on their plate in terms of how to stop the onslaught, the dive composition that I think Tribu Nemesis is trying to pull off. Because if you look at their lineup, man, Tribu Nemesis is definitely a dive composition. The big tanks composition, Superman, Kriknak. I think Kriknak, even though Kriknak has a lot of base damage on his side, is actually still quite considered to be a tanky hero, especially since he has a big boost in mobility early on. Look at this. A really, really... I think they're starting to plan a 5-man invade, but they will get spotted out by Yggdrasil Warriors. Gonna try to dive in and out, try to jump over that cliff maybe. Can he do it? I think he will be. He's gonna be tried to be intercepted by this Fane. Of course, not much is going to happen for that right now. In the bottom lane, Yggdrasil is going to take some objectives of their own on the map. Going to try to get some gold into their pockets, and I think they're going to be a bit more successful. The gold lead is going to be favoring Yggdrasil because of all that rotations. But again, This is basically Tribu Nemesis trying to do their own on the top lane. They're all level 1 though. They don't have any of those big flashy ultimates to try to get something in their favor, and they will back off right now. All this walking time around the map is definitely costing them, and slowly but surely, uh, Yggdrasil getting a bit more gold in their pockets. But let's not talk about that for the meantime. Let's talk about what we can do for the what Yggdrasil win condition is, because I think their win condition, get the Zephys in a great position, get a lot of gold in the pockets of the Preta as well. I mean, it is a Preta. It does have a lot of damage, but it will have a harder time rotating. And I think that's exactly what Tribu needs to do. They need to rotate faster, but they are getting rotated on as we speak. Yggdrasil gonna send up free members to collapse on the top lane. Malak gonna be taken very, very low. But here comes the cavalry as Yggdrasil sent as Tribu sent more members on there. Yggdrasil gonna face him off with an even number skirmish. Let's see what they can do. Hex is very, very low on that. Zeph's on the side. He will just be relegated to watch as Warners gets taken out. First blood goes over to Tribu, but don't be confused. They are all very low on the HP bars. They are gonna be taken quite by surprise by the power that Yggdrasil is showing. That Lubu showing up on the back line, picking off one, picking off two on the other side as well for that Zephys. And this is going to be looking like the third casualty for Tribu. Yggdrasil with free kills under their belts and a lot of map control to boot. Meanwhile, they are going on the mid lane. They're starting to rotate because I think they realized they got a lot from that exchange. Maybe let's try to not stick around too long and try to get back into those golds. Of course, we all know the power of Yggdrasil is going to rely a lot on how fast they can accrue the gold. Zoom going to be very confident getting into the fights. Zephys misses the knockup and will be relegated to get onto the buff instead. This is looking like a bit worse and worse for Yggdrasil as the seconds pass. Superman going to be here for the follow-up. They are going to be starting fight off. Superman, where are you going? Why did you leave your members? Free members for Tribu falls while Superman dances around the turret. Very bad decision making there. Low reaction time will result to Yggdrasil taking an Abyssal Drake on their pockets. Look at that. Very crunchy global goal. Global experience as well. This is going to be something to watch out for, guys. Yggdrasil is going to start ramping up. This is what we were talking about earlier. And when I say we, I mean I. I've been talking about how fast Yggdrasil is going to have the gold in their pockets. They are doing just that. I mean, hey, on that Zephys looking really, really strong. This is going to be Tribu Gaming trying to send out multiple members. Maybe try to get some of that lead back. But that is a very tanky Sentinel. I don't think he's going to try to pull off anything weird. Just wait for the team to get in a good position. You know what I said about the Preda, despite him being a bit let's say immobile compared to everyone else on the map, he is doing a great job holding the fort in the mid lane, not letting any push go through for the side of Tribu. And I think Tribu is also having a harder time answering the Preta, the waves, the poisonous plague waves going into their faces. This is Yggdrasil going on the side, trying to do a little invading. I don't think anything else is going to be resulting for that. But again, this is going to be Tribu waiting for their mark. Yggdrasil zoom on that Lubu, looking very confident. Again, in the front, he is charged up with his ultimate. The life steal is doing wonders for him, and he is holding steady. The ultimate will be out. Again, that's a very low cooldown ultimate. That is not something they're actually worried about. Free man collapse onto the mid lane for Yggdrasil. Tries to go out with a poke. Not much to say about that. All right, let's talk about how can Tribu get back into this game. I think they're going to have a harder time. The Superman isn't really roaming as much as I want him to, and because of that, there you go, Akashi on that Kriknak gets assassinated on the side by the lone power of the Sentinel. What are we looking at here? The Sentinel, the tank, assassinating, while the rest of his team is on the mid lane trying to defend as much as they can. This is a solo siege being pulled off by this Preta, and he's having a marvelous time right now. He is having the time of his life, pushing into the tower while the rest of his team takes down Abyssal Drake. More global gold and more global objectives going into the already fat pockets of Yggdrasil. 6 minute game time. This is looking like a bit more of a cruncher. Because again, as we approach the mid game, they're still holding steady. Tribu is still holding steady. They are not letting Yggdrasil into it. They are pulling off a great defense. Although they are losing a lot of the global golds, they're not losing too much of their lives. Gotta give them commendation for that. But again, Yggdrasil is still very much in the lead. As you can see right there, 4.6k gold lead. Not something to laugh at. This results into Zoom being super confident. Vayne gonna try to dice in and out, try to bait them into a bad position again. Wish do on that Superman. Try to make something happen. No banana for you. On the top lane though, they're still waiting for some gold into a lot of minions going into there. Front line for YGG takes down Akashi, and that's gonna be looking really bad. Double kill there for Hay. Is that Hay or Hex? I think that's Hex, right? Yeah, that's Hex. It looked like a Y on my screen. There you go. Tower goes down in the mid lane. Two members of it, Tribu try to engage it. Senya ultimate does go down. Another kill. Let the bodies hit the floor, going over to YGG. YGG on the front door of Tribu, knocking and rolling. Tower goes down. High ground tower is most likely. Mid high ground tower is most likely going to be the big prize. YGG is starting to just juggle the aggro, juggle the damage so well that they're just dancing near the Nexus. They don't even care about the Nexuses. Look at that. As the life steals resume, definitely paying off dividends right now. They are trying to go in. Wish do tries to do a lot of poke damage with that Superman. That's exactly what I was looking for earlier. That was something that should have been pulled off earlier, but was not. And you know what? That's going to be a big problem later. Akashi tries to go in with the Kreknak ultimate, and the Senya ult does go down, healing for days as Preta takes out another key target on that. Sorry. What's that hero? Forgot the name of that hero. Anyway, let's go in on the bottom lane. They're starting to rotate. Second inner turret for the bottom lane is gonna be the next target. Yeah, that was a feint. Sorry about that. The numbers were covering up his face. There you go. The feint does go down to the Preda, and this is gonna be YGG doing the really smooth rotations to the bot lane. They do get another tower. The gold lead is insurmountable almost. At 10k is looking very grim and dire for Tribu, and now they're just holding off again the solo defense here on the top lane. Sorry, on the bot lane. The top lane will get answered by Senyo. That's exactly what they need to do, though. They just need to send the Senyo on the top, try to apply as much pressure as they can around that area, and maybe have some of the teams go for either Abyssal Dragon or Darkslayer, which is exactly what they're doing. Two-man Darkslayer going to pay off dividends as the rest of the teams are on the mid and on the bot lane, distracting the rest of Tribu. Darkslayer buff does go down to them. This will allow a better siege for this already powerful team of YG, and this is looking very strong. They're very confident pulling off a 3v5. Knock knock, who's there? We are here. YG is on the top lane as well as the bottom lane and the mid lane. This is confusing the heck out of Tribu as we speak. Where will they defend? Because they do need at least 2 to 3 members to defend against at least 2 members of YGG, and this is looking very, very grim. Tower will fall as well. The bottom outer turret, the bottom high ground turret falls. Next one is gonna be multiple members of a Tribu. Senya ultimate is used, but not really that effective because they will not need the health. The core is going to be the next to fall, and the victory goes over to Yggdrasil Imperious. Great job there for Yggdrasil Imperious, pulling off the solo push on the bottom lane with 3 members, and also a beautiful split push on the top lane and the mid lane, confusing the heck out of Tribu. Again, congratulations to YGG, Yggdrasil Imperious, showing off a very good performance with I said this earlier, they had quite an immobile comp with the Alice and with the Preta. I think the Alice supplemented that a lot, as well as the Senyo. I mean, even though they didn't have the most mobile compositions that we have seen, It did allow for a lot of safety with the shields from the Alice, with the heals from Sentinel. I think it was a big factor in how they won that. Next game is gonna be Nova Notorious versus Esto Dignus version 2. Wow, that is an awesome name. You gotta give me the guy who comes up with your names. I'm gonna come up with a